the proposed fight between Nigeria's Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. These two fighters in the heavyweight division have fallen out of, let's say, much favor from boxing fans owing to the loss of Anthony Joshua, multiple losses and consecutive losses in recent times. And same to Tyson Fury, only recently lost out twice to the now undisputed heavyweight boxing champion of the world, Alexander Usyk. Having lost out to the champion, eventual champion, these two fighters are now seeking relevance, in my own opinion, coming up in a fight that's scheduled for Saudi Arabia sometime next year. We understand $300 million is at stake for these fighters. Do you think this is the way to go for Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua, having not met up with the very high standards set now by WBC, World Boxing Association, and World Boxing Organization heavyweight champion of the world, Alexander Usyk from Ukraine?
Well, Cyril, this is arguably the biggest commercial, fight that will ever happen. If this does eventually go down to happen, plenty of talks concerning how money will be allocated and all that, but this indeed will be the biggest commercial. You could argue that from there. Saudi Arabia is the maker of boxing, and when we put the promoters and also some investors from Saudi willing to commit huge funds to actually make it happen and make people come down that area and watch it. So let's talk about the fight itself. We just witnessed Tyson Fury lose for the second time to Alexander Usyk. Now, there were talks on would there be another fight between them. But Alexander Usyk is talking about going down once again to the lower level and still trying to be there and still fight. Man is trying to create all sorts of records. Undisputed heavyweight champion in the heavyweight division at the moment, but he wants to go down one rung lower and also get there. So that fight is not going to happen. It's not a possibility. We're not going to get a trilogy between Alexander Usyk and Tyson Fury. And let's go to AJ, that's Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua recently lost that fight to Daniel Dubois. And for years, everyone was looking forward to a fight between Fury and Joshua. Everyone was looking forward to a fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. It did not happen. It came somewhat from Tyson Fury. He's we know how he is. Talks a lot, talks plenty. Some will say he's expected of boxers. Today he's for the fight. Today he's calling you to come on. When you agree on the terms, he's seemingly saying something else. But the fight never happened. I don't know if the world really wants to see, because both men, like you mentioned, also have lost last series. They've lost the reputation they once had. They're no longer that big. Tyson Fury now has on his record that he has lost fights. So will this fight really appeal to, should I say, that boxing purist? Will he really want to see this fight as much as he wanted to see this fight maybe 2-3 years ago? This takes us back to the period we had Pretty Boy Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao. A fight everyone looked forward to having, but somewhere, Pretty Boy managed to not make that fight happen. Eventually, when it happened, both men were finished. It was no longer what it would have been. So just for us to put some, because I'm sure in different fora and also at different quarters, still I'm sure maybe partaking in some of those arguments, we would just like to put it to rest, put it to bed. Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, who actually beat the other. I will say this, back in the day when both men were at the prime, I believed the likes of Tyson Fury would definitely beat Anthony Joshua hands down. That I believe. So this will just put that to rest. What will be arguably the biggest commercial fight in boxing history, $300 million at stake. Well, I will watch it. I'll say, but it no longer commands, as big as it would have been if this fight had taken place 2 years ago.
Kingsley, you heard Carl said yes, he will watch it, but this looks now like a second-rated boxing bout because everybody wants to fight with the champion. These two boxers are falling out with the heavyweight champion of the world, Alexander Usyk, and they are seeking more relevance now amongst themselves. But I think it has to do with the humongous sum provided by the Saudi Arabian promoters of this fight. What do you make of it? Is boxing beginning to lose its glamour because of lack of boxers who can that can make the bouts,
bringing in the competition,
unpredictable, and there's so much competition?
I think for me, if you take a look at it, is boxing is gradually, losing its glamour at this point in time. Just take a look at the way Alexander Usyk came from amateur down to the cruiserweights and down to the heavyweights, dominated, all these, categories and stayed stand up. And now he's talking about going back to the cruiserweights. I tell you, it's a lot of expectation, from the likes of Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, but they've not really done enough at this point in time. Seeing Usyk coming up to beat them back to back, and then going back, to the cruiserweight. For me, I think boxing has, is gradually losing that, competition, that excitement, that huge expectation that everyone, of course, seems to be looking for at this point in time. For Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, I think it's just for the money. If you ask me, yes, there's still that fans appeal for this fight. But when you talk about the excitement, the expectation, how fans are expecting this one, it has dropped a little bit because this is not the time everyone was expecting them, of course. People were expecting them to get, into the ring. The time has passed. Maybe it's because of the fact that they've been beating their records, the scores have been broken, especially for the likes of, Tyson Fury, who was actually unbeaten until he met, Usyk. And that's why they want to, of course, give the fans, what they've been looking for. But I think for me, that excitement has dropped. Despite the fans' appeal still there, people will just want to watch to know, okay, who actually, gets over each other in this particular one at the end of the day. Carl actually went for Tyson Fury, but I think Joshua still has what it takes, to, really get it hard against, Tyson Fury at the end of the day. We understand Joshua has been on a decline, especially when you take a look at what happened to him between Daniel Dubois. It wasn't really himself, in that particular encounter. But I think the man probably has gone back to his training camp. If this one, of course, will see the lights of the day, I still see Joshua, of course, giving Tyson Fury a very tough time in the ring.